Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm a sewing specialist at Fons and Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the quilt Smoke and Fire. For the pattern for this quilt, you will visit our website and you can get all the specifics on how many strips and how many pieces to cut for the little red fire that goes within the quilt. We're going to start with 2.5-inch strips here. We have 42 of them and a variety of black on black, black and gray, light gray, medium gray. They're all batiks, so they're all wonderful prints to work with. And that gives it kind of that smoky feel through the quilt. And then we're using a red on red, also a batik, and 2.5-inch squares there. And what we're going to be doing is creating strip sets using those pieces. And these are the blocks that we're going to be working towards. This makes up the entire quilt. There are also a couple pieces that don't have a triangle on them, but we need 48 of these and 28 of that block. So we're going to set those off to the side. And we're going to go through all those wonderful black and grays, and we're going to make combinations of 3 prints to create a strip set. And I'm working with half lengths here. You can use half lengths, but you can also use full length. Using half lengths will give you more of a scrappy because you can pair them up in different ways. So you would go in here and join 3 pieces together with seams here, going one direction for one stitching, and then changing directions to help keep your strip set nice and neat and tidy. Press your seam allowances to one side. Since everything here is mostly dark, it won't make a difference too much which direction you pick to press your seams, but you can see here seam allowances just pressed in one direction. Then once you've created a bunch of strip sets like this, all different color combinations of the grays and blacks, I would have fun just cutting pieces multiple layers. Since they all have to be a 6.5-inch unit, I'm going to stack a bunch of them up. Let's move these up just a little bit further here. And as long as I keep these fairly parallel here, then I can come in and cut units off layers at a time since I'm cutting the same number over and over again. A 6.5-inch unit will make a square. So since all of my pieces aren't the same length, I'm going to overcut the first piece, and it's somewhere around the 7-inch range there. Making sure I can reach all the way across the width I've got laid out. So I'm going to make a cut here and then flip this around. I mated together nicely and stacked in a shift. So one thing nice working with batiks is they are so nice and crisp. They press so nicely. And then I can cut 6.5-inch units off of here and just then continue cutting in that same manner. Always making sure 6.5-inch there, you've got a straight edge aligned, and cut. And then you just cut the number of units, subunits like this that are required in the pattern, so just follow along. And then we're going to come in and we're going to make, remember we needed 48 and 28, so we need to create those triangles on the corners. So working on one at a time, we're going to take the red square and we're going to do a diagonal seam method, which means that we're going to use a straight edge. We're going to mark it diagonally from corner to corner using a fabric marking tool of some sort, your favorite. And that is going to become our stitching line. So I need to orient one here, and then for the set that I need the most of, I need 48 of, I need 2 of them like this, making sure that I'm putting them on opposite corners, not side by side, but opposite corners, so that I will get the pattern, the overall pattern that I want when I'm finished. So since I've got 2 of them there, I would probably come in and just put a pin once I have those edges aligned nicely so they don't slide out of position as I slide it over to the sewing machine. And then I'm going to just sew that diagonal seam corner to corner. The nice part about this is you don't need to worry about an accurate 1/4 inch seam, you're just sewing right on the line. which makes it very easy. You can be listening to your favorite music, favorite radio station or television program, or even a movie if you've got one, a DVD player nearby, or Netflix or some other wonderful thing. Then you can stitch the second one. Just simply cross corner to corner. Okay, take away the threads. Try to keep your sewing patchwork neat and tidy, trimming threads as you go. It just makes everything clean and tidy. There we go. Then we're going to press these outward. We can do it with our finger. Batiks are so nice and crisp that it's even just with a finger press gives us a nice flat. You can also set them with an iron. So we could come over here also and with the iron just quickly give them a quick press. It won't take much to get them nice and crisp. And then we will come in the scissors. You can do it with a rotary cutter also. Just trim away the extra underneath, making sure to keep that top layer out of the way so you don't trim that one off, because we do need that in place. Okay, so that's how you would make the one with two. The same thing, same technique with the one with one on the corner like that. So now we have more of those. Now, it's basically at this point, it's just looking at our diagrams in our magazine and following that layout to create this overall effect. So, just so we keep everything, and I can keep everything straight, I'm going to just reference that. So we're going to use a block that has no little red triangles on it. And then you'll notice that the orientation of the triangles also changes the orientation of the strip set. And the cheater way to look at it is thinking about putting these together as a square. So you'll notice there's half of another. Let's see. Oh, this one should have been. Well, that's what gets started. We need to actually have one that'll have our next square there. Okay, so the diagrams will show you exactly how to create rows, to create those wonderful little red, almost like floating diamonds or gems or flames in the smoke and fire quilt. And then we finished with a great red binding, and your quilt is complete. Thanks for joining me today. For more of our video tutorials, visit our website.